And welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Morning Buzz. I'm your host, Cam Martin. Alongside me is my co-host, Isaias Ramirez, and my newscast, Lana Kalapodakis.
Yo, Cam, before we get started, we got to address the elephant in the room. Why are you breathing so hard?
Okay, so boom. All right, so boom, right? So this morning, my alarm decided to not go off on me.
Oh.
And I said, oh no. So I got in my car. Oh man, the alarm went off probably like I probably woke up like 10 minutes ago. And I said, oh man, jumped in my car, pushed it, went all the way across campus, got back here and said, all right, bet. So this morning of the Morning Buzz is sponsored by Check Your Phone.
Check your phone, everyone. Never know.
Make sure the alarms are on.
I gotta say, when you texted like I'm on my way, I just had a strange feeling that text was I just woke up kind of text.
Yep.
I was right. And to be fair, I did not think you were gonna make it on time. You did. Proud of you, Cam. But yeah, what a great way to start your day.
Oh, listen, it's a great energizing morning. So
I haven't ran that much in a while.
all I'm gonna say is this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Set 3 alarms if you have. I will say you are a hard person to wake up, Cam.
That is also very true.
That is honestly, there's a lot of hard things in life. That is one of them.
Like waking me up. Actually, shout out to Tara Cicchetti because she had to wake me up one day when I had to go get air in my tire. I was knocked out right in the front seat of my car.
I'm sure. And then you probably didn't hear anything going on around you.
I got a text saying like you are the worst person to wake up ever. I'm like, oh well.
This is true.
So
you would not wake up. Anyways, Cam, we got a great show today, right?
Oh, of course. We got some heat coming our way. So, to kick everything off, Lana, let's go to the newscast, cousin.
Well, in national news, we're starting with Isaiah's favorite state of Ohio.
Disgusting.
On Monday, Governor Mike DeWine of Ohio signed a bill into law that makes it easier for school faculty and staff to carry guns on school property. This bill reduces hours of weapon training for school employees from 700 to 24. Those 700 hours of training are intended broadly to train law enforcement. The vast majority of that training is not really relevant to a school's safety directly, says the governor. While Scott DeMauro and Melissa Cropper, presidents of 2 different Ohio teachers unions, have said against the bill, in wake of the tragic school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, Ohio lawmakers are rushing to take action to address school safety concerns in our state. The Ohio Education Association and the Ohio Federation of Teachers want to be clear. House Bill 99 will make Ohio students less safe in their schools.
Before we continue, what? All right, proceed.
In state news, a 34-year-old man was shot dead in Jersey City on Sunday. Kyle Howard, my laptop's being weird. Kyle Howard was shot on Martin Luther King Drive and Forest Street at 11:15 p.m. He was then rushed to Jersey City Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at 12:45 a.m. City Councilman Frank Gilmore has said in response, "It's just a sad day in the community when we experience individuals dying at the hands of gun violence." 2 other men were shot on this intersection earlier this year, with one surviving and the other dying from his injuries. In local news, Montclair police are investigating a potential threat to Montclair High School on social media on Monday. Police have currently deemed the threat unsubstantiated and have posted on social media. The Montclair Police Department was advised of a potential threat to Montclair High School early this morning. An investigation commenced immediately and deemed the threat unsubstantiated prior to the start of the school day. The investigation is ongoing to properly address the situation in its entirety. As for the weather today, it is currently 66 degrees and partly cloudy, with a high of 84 and a low of 64, with a humidity level of 58% and good air quality at 34.
And the good air quality is really important, especially when you go for really hard runs, really brisk runs. So it kind of helps out. Speaking of running, I gotta do more of that. In sports, there's a lot of running. So
there is.
I have no idea where I was gonna go with that, but I say
wild transition, Cam.
I know. Listen,
Yeah. So sports. Yeah, in the words of Alex. The World Cup is approaching, everybody, and we had another qualifier yesterday as Australia battled Peru in a back and forth affair, and the game was stuck at 0-0 by the time the clock ran out. So what does that mean? We go to penalties, everyone's favorite thing in soccer. Both sides would trade scores, misses, scores. Eventually, it's even 4-4 bars, but not really. Australia needed to score to take the lead. And who else but Awer Mabel to deliver his best impression of Amazon, because he delivered an absolute strike to take the lead. And it was up to Alex Valera, the Peruvian national team player, to tie the game up and head to more penalties. But Valera could not get it done, and a huge save from Australian goalkeeper Andre Redmond sealed the deal for Australia, winning the game 5-4 in a thrilling shootout. Australia is officially in the World Cup, and Peru's hope of playing in the World Cup vanished faster than LeBron's hairline. Now, according to Albert Breer of Monday Morning Quarterback, here's an interesting thing. The Miami Dolphins offered Sean Payton a 4-year deal worth $100 million to coach the team. That's a lot of money, and that actually would have been, I think, the second highest coaching contract other than John Gruden's, I believe. Next up, the NBA Finals Game 1. You're probably wondering how many people watched it. Well, 12 or nearly 12 million did across ABC and ESPN2 on June 2nd. It was up 37% from last year's Game 1. We now head to the Bay Area for Game 5 of the NBA Finals, with the series deadlocked at 2-2. The Celtics had their best defensive game against Steph Curry, limiting him to 7 of 22 from the field and not making a single three-pointer, going 0 for 9. Despite the lack of scoring from Curry, everyone else stepped up for the Warriors. Clay and Wiggins both scored over 20 points on the game, and this seemed like a game that Boston could steal on the road, but they couldn't find any bench production. Their bench production was as disgusting as Amber Heard's bed sheets, and would be proud. She would be very proud of that. And the unit only scored, how many points do you think they scored, Cam?
They got to score 15, right?
No. 10 points.
10 points?
10 whole points for the team on the bench.
The bench only scored 10 points?
Yeah. Robert Williams, who is not known for scoring, scored more points, or actually scored the same amount. Yeah, the bench did absolutely nothing for them.
You're right. Amber Heard's bed sheets will be proud.
Yeah, very proud. The final score indeed was the Celtics 94, Warriors 104, as they take a 3-2 lead in the NBA Finals. And that is all for your sports on June 14th.
So if they are able to score more points, if the bench can do a little bit better, if they go, if they do a cool 20, it's a tie game.
Yeah, I mean, what it really came down to, too, is the Celtics really did had a fantastic defensive performance, because I think, was it 9 for 40 or something like that from the three-point line? The Warriors were like, they were cold from three-point line.
It was bad. But you know what really killed them, though?
What?
That first part of the game for the Celtics, they went 0 for 12 from downtown.
That is also true. I will say the signs for the Celtics, though, is that they had some really good production from Jason Tatum. They just haven't been able to have Tatum and Brown both have collectively good scoring games yet, which is interesting. And if they can do that, even with bad bench production, they could probably take 2 more games in the series.
Listen, all it really comes down to what happens now going into Boston. Oh, and speaking of more sports, the Stanley Cup, the Lightning did have the attempt at three-peat, and they play against the Avalanche. I forget what day. Not important. Tomorrow, really?
Yep, Wednesday.
Oh, nice. So the bid for the three-peat is on the way. So we got to get into some things.
Yes, sir.
So January 6th, the hearings for it, they started last week?
Yeah, so, last Thursday night, prime time.
Yeah, so we have some more of it going on. Donald Trump's closet campaign advisors, the top government officials, and even his family were dismantling his false claims of the 2020 election fraud ahead of January 6th. But the defeated president seems, quote, detached from reality and clinging on to outlandish theories to stay in power, the committee investigating the Capitol attacks was told Monday. Trump's big lie of the election fraud escalated and transformed into marching orders that summoned supporters to Washington and then sent them to the Capitol on January 6th to block Biden's victory. Former Attorney General William Barr, in his interview with the committee, revealed a lot. He referred to the president as, quote, detached from reality if he really believes this stuff, testified. He called the voting fraud claims bogus and idiotic, and resigned in the aftermath of pure chaos. He did not want to have any part of it. The witness Monday mostly testified in a pre-recorded videos. They described in detail how Trump refused to take the advice of those closest to him, including his family members. On election night, Bill Stephen said Trump was growing increasingly unhappy and refusing to accept the grim outlook. Jared Kushner tried to steer Trump away from Attorney General Giuliani and his far-flung theories of voter fraud that advisors believed that were not true. The president would have none of it. The back and forth intensified in the run-up to January 6th. Former Justice Department official Richard Donahue recalled the breakdown, one claim after another, from truckloads of ballots in Pennsylvania to a missing suitcase of ballots in Georgia, and telling Trump, quote, much of the information you're getting is false. Still, Trump pressed on with his false claims even after dozens of court cases collapsed. The panel also provided new information about how Trump's fundraising machine collected some $250 million with his campaigns to stop the steal, and others in the aftermath of the November election, mostly small dollar amount donations from Americans. One plea for cash went out 30 minutes before the January 6, 2021 insurrection. So you need to tell me that all this could have been prevented had you just listened to people.
Yeah. I mean, he clearly knew that this entire time he was not winning that election. And for some reason, despite all of the people telling him that, except for Rudy Giuliani, for some reason, he believed him and continued on this weird, untruthful narrative that many people believed and still believe today, that election is a fraud, by the way, just so you don't forget that part.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of idiots that are like, oh my God, like Joe Biden is not my actual president, guys. He didn't win. This whole thing is like, the more details that come out, the worse it gets. And I just think it's so bizarre that not only was there a time where Donald Trump was our president, but there is a time, or it still is a time, where people love him. And it's so weird to hear people say, we love Trump, like at rallies and all that stuff. It's like, he doesn't really care about you. He doesn't really care about the American people. And what he cares about are his pockets. I don't know, man.
Not a bad thing to care about, though.
And when you ask them, like, why do you love him? The reasons they give, if any, don't make any sense.
I know.
Yeah, he looks
He
funny.
saved us. He saved America.
For what?
Yes. We're taking back our country. You want to know why? Because in our country, we need two things.
I'll say it.
Jesus and guns.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of person I expect. Ohio, that is your kind of guy.
That is the middle state. That is the definition of a true middle state American.
Yeah, Ohio, Kentucky, all y'all trash.
Nah, and also on top of that, just hearing the people, like, don't get me wrong, I'm friends with a lot of people who support Trump, but they have logical reasonings in why they support Trump.
Like what?
They say, okay, well, they like his ideals for the taxing. They're saying like how Trump was able to, he put the fear into people, which he kind of did. I'm not saying that I support Donald Trump, but he did put the fear into people to the point where people like, would you rather be feared or respected? He chose both.
Did people respect him though?
Other leaders in the world did.
Did they? I mean, the more you hear from other leaders coming out is that they thought he was crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if it was.
Listen, when you fear somebody, it's like, okay, I'm respecting wishes. I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that you could make the same argument about Kim Jong-un.
That's very true. Because
like,
do you want to mess with Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
Do you want to mess with Vlad?
Yeah, I mean, they're both equally crazy.
They are crazy as bleep, bleep, bleep. I would not want to mess with them. So I'm just gonna respect what they say, except for Vlad, trying to be a little.
You want to know what the difference is, though, between those two people? Is that at least the United States on paper is supposed to be like this democracy.
At least we voted them in, yeah.
It's a lot different where,
Yeah, sure.
they're fearless leaders and we're supposed to be this thing where we all kind of work together. That has proven false in these past few years, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Very divisive. This country is
can't
what as it can possibly be on literally everything.
The last time I can really think of the last time I think the United States was actually united was going to be 21 years ago during 9/11.
Yeah, and you know, it's hard to say that completely as well because you also had people just attacking Muslims for no reason.
That was also very true.
So once again, I would love to find a time where this country has really.
Dude, can we
like think about this? Think about this. Just recently, people couldn't agree that Black Lives mattered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not even like more important, not like the best, just mattered, and they couldn't agree on that. So what does it really say? And then these
hold on. I can one up that. They attacked Asian people because of the whole
because he called it the China virus.
Exactly. You know who caused that? That guy who's in charge of all that.
Mm-hmm.
That orange man, Cheeto man.
Yep.
So we still have issues with that. Our fellow Americans were attacking our fellow Americans because Cheeto man said, "Do this."
Cheeto man's crazy, but absolutely.
Cheeto man is crazy.
In 2 ways, yes.
And they still worship him too.
Yes,
it's
like what?
It's so bizarre. Like, you know, people liked Obama, right? They are like, oh, we think he's a great president, blah, 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 blah. I don't think Obama had a cult like following like this.
No,
like, this is disturbing. The amount of like how far that the people on January 6th were willing to go to steal an election that they didn't win.
That was rightfully won.
I mean, I just, it's so bizarre to me, and it's weird that people are able to latch on to a politician like that, willingly knowing that like this person doesn't know you and does not care really about you.
Mm-hmm.
They've also like a lot of people have been like, oh, he's such a great businessman, and it's like,
do you know
he's gone bankrupt so many
Atlantic
times.
City. Enough said.
Whack, man. I really want to see what the end result of these hearings are going to be. Or is this going to be like, well, Trump can probably just go on vacation? Like, I'm curious to really know what happens from this, other than just like bad PR. But for him, it's like, if it is bad PR, why does he care?
That's true.
That probably just helps him out.
Exactly.
And then he has the social media platform, the Truth Social thing, and it's supposed to be like freedom of speech kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you can't even mention January 6th on it.
No, here's the thing. I do have an issue with that. The fact that Donald Trump, before January, the fact that he got his Twitter removed, this is my opinion, and this is not reflection. I did not like that, because you kind of just limited the whole idea of you're going back on your word about freedom of speech. I understand this terms.
I agree.
I understand there's terms and agreements and things you got to follow along, but they didn't start making these until like when things started getting crazy, and so it's like, why are you going to suspend this man's account?
I would relate this similar to what is actually happening in the NFL with the Jack Del Rio comments, who referred to January 6th as a dust up, which, by the way, wasn't very terrible wording. And from all accounts, not the best human being. What I will say is a lot of people, I think it was the NAACP, I can't remember the organization, but they were calling for him to be fired. And I think that's when you get into a very dangerous situation, is when you start firing people for giving their opinion on political things.
So like,
he got fined, but once again, it's like
what's
much like Trump being removed from Twitter and him, trying to get fired.
Just like
I think there's a fine line, because then you can make the argument for the other side.
Like just because they don't agree with you doesn't mean that they're the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to disagree with people, and that's the one thing that I don't understand. People living down that hill saying, "Oh yeah, this is what." Oh yeah, I don't agree with you. Nah, you can't like what? No, you just because someone has a different opinion does not mean that they're wrong.
Yeah. And then I will say there's this one thing that Stephen A. Smith said, and I thought it was a very powerful thing, in where he said, white people catch the cold and then black people catch pneumonia. So it's just interesting that if a white person does something, they have like these repercussions. But had January 6th or had a black coach said something crazy, they would have been fired.
Oh, they would have been blacklisted.
Just remind that when you think about things and you ask for people to be fired or be canceled, that might be their punishment, but your punishment, if you're a person of color, especially in this country,
Oh, yeah,
is
you're-
going to be 10 times worse. So
or if you
I think that's something to think
it's-
about when you decide when or when
to make
not
those-
people can speak
yeah.
their mind.
Oh yeah, exactly. Now, so we're gonna kind of mention Papa Putin earlier. So
Oh boy.
yeah, Isaiah, want to talk about what's going on with
Yeah, absolutely. So this story I feel has not gotten really a lot of coverage. It's gotten a little bit, I think, within the news. Like I saw it probably once on Today or something on CBS. So the State Department officials met on Monday with members of Brittney Griner's WNBA team to talk about the Mercury Star's month-long detention in Russia. Griner was detained on February 17th at an airport in Russia after authorities said they searched her bag and they revealed a vape cartridge containing a cannabis derivative. In May, the State Department reclassified Griner as wrongfully detained and transferred oversight of her case to the State Department President Envoy of Hostage Affairs, also known as SP EHA. Dude, as I'm reading the scripts, my eyes just went like it has been over 116 days since Griner was detained as well. Mercury star Diana Sarai said after this meeting, quotes, "There is a lot involved in getting her back home and safe. They're working relentlessly. We're here to do what we can do to amplify and keep BG at the forefront, which is more important than any basketball game and anything else going on in our lives. We want BG to come home as soon as possible. It's number one on our list." The administration has previously said it is working on bringing Griner home and another American, Michigan corporate security executive Paul Whelan, home from Russia. Sarai also added, quotes, "Knowing the State Department at the highest level, from the U.S. President Joe Biden to the team that is working on bringing back all Americans who are wrongfully detained, gives us a lot of confidence that they're working on it." Griner's teammates, as well as players across the league, have been pushing President Biden on social media to help get her home, and WNBA players have been able to send emails and letters to Griner through an account her agent set up. The emails are printed out and delivered sporadically in bunches to Griner by her lawyer after vetted by Russian officials. Once the lawyer gets back to their office, they'll scan any response from Griner and pass them back to the U.S. to send along to the players. Now, this is there's a lot of things you can go about when you talk about this situation. I think there's a lot of different avenues to target. One, you could say, why is this not getting media coverage? And is it because she's a WNBA star and it's just not a big league? If it was a different kind of NBA player, would it be getting more coverage? I will say, when I first heard this story, one of the biggest things that I kept thinking to myself is, when you're anybody, regardless of superstar basketball player to one of us here, just a college student, when you travel, you really have to know the laws of places you're going to. And I think this is a perfect learning scenario, because she might have think this is okay to travel within the United States too, and California and Arizona. I don't know if it's legal or not in those places. I imagine it is.
It's probably most likely.
Yeah, but if you're traveling, especially overseas, and
especially to a country that's that crazy.
Yes, and at the time, I don't believe the invasion of Ukraine was going on, so
it might have.
I don't believe so. You can fact check me, but it might have been a little bit before. Regardless, is that if you're traveling, you really have to make sure you know the rules of places you're going to.
It was a week
because
before.
There's certain countries that even if you throw garbage on the floor and you don't put it in the garbage can, they will arrest you, because that is their laws and you have to respect their laws.
Whatever, no matter where you are. And actually, that's just a good rule of life. No matter where you are, doesn't matter if you're going to your friend's house or you're going to the other side of the planet. You got to respect everywhere you go.
Yeah, and I think that's a common problem that you hear from other countries when Americans visit there.
Yeah,
is how disrespectful Americans really are. And it's like, once again, I'm not saying she's disrespectful. I'm not saying she's stupid, she's dumb, and all these things. She made a mistake, as far as we know. I'm assuming that for some reason I'm trusting Russia on this situation, but I imagine that she did have something within her vapes, and that's why they're holding her hostage.
Awesome.
I
just fact checked it, by the way. It was a week right before.
Okay, I had a feeling they were very close to each other.
I saw the dates though.
Regardless, I mean, heading into Russian territory, that was
That's a dangerous game.
even
right there.
before heading into the invasion, we knew something was up. Like
Yeah.
there was potential of something going off. So once
Yeah.
again, if I knew I was going to Russia, I would make sure I have nothing on me that could be suspicious. I'm in this country to do one thing. I'm assuming play basketball, then go home. That's it.
Exactly.
And she did not do that. She did not double check her stuff. And sadly, she's got to pay for that. Now, I will say, is she being held way too long? And is there a weird lack of communication? And are the details kind of weird?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jesus.
And should I hope for her return as soon as possible? But once again, everybody, if you're listening to this and you're traveling, especially now, the pandemic is, is it over? I don't know. We beat COVID. Be careful where you're going. And that's even within this country too. You never know what the rules are in certain places, so be sure to read up on them.
Oh, yeah, I've had a story. My buddy, he's actually in Europe right now, and he got denied going into a nightclub in Paris because of the whole idea of how Americans are.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And
I don't blame him.
Exactly. I can't really blame them because
he was sitting there just complaining. I thought that was pretty humorous.
that honestly, if that happened to me, I feel like I'd have to start laughing because that's hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like it would just be a lot of like, you know what, you right.
You'd be like, my bad.
I'll go.
Let me apologize in French to you. I'll go home, watch something on TV.
He said, "Merci," and then actually that means me too. All right. Anyway, we're gonna be right back, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about some things that I grew up on. Free lunch. So we'll be right back.
Cool.
And welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. That was, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tunes on Tuesday.
Tunes on Tuesday. That was
That was
wow.
yeah, that's
That was
from Jared.
really good.
That was from Jared. Listen,
That was crazy.
That's Jared Art. So
Yeah, Cam.
all right now, I say you got a wristband.
You always got my wristband. Yeah.
Want a wristband? You got a wristband?
You got a wristband or what?
Wristband?
Oh,
Okay,
Sure.
all right. Anyway, okay, so
okay, go.
So boom, right? We got the story, right? For the last 2 years, any student, regardless of their family's income, has been able to receive free lunch at school if the district opted into the National School Lunch Program. The federal government waived its rules at the start of the pandemic to help ease the financial burden on families and ensure kids would not go hungry as COVID swept across the nation and leaving many parents jobless or stressed to make sure their children are fed. But in typical government fashion, that is coming to an end.
Oh.
The federal government's free lunch waivers are set to expire June 30th after Congress failed to extend them. L. Common American Congress L. Respectfully. This summer and during the next school year, schools will return to offering free lunch to families to only low-income students who qualify for the program based on their family income. But in New Jersey, legislators are working on a bill that would expand free breakfast and lunch for many students from their low-income and middle-class families, even as the federal funding vanishes. State Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, the district, he's from Middlesex. co-sponsored the Working Class Families Anti-Hunger Act, which would make more than 26,000 additional New Jersey students eligible for the state's free or reduced lunch costs, breakfast, and lunch programs. Having free breakfast is clutch. Like, no, that's clutch.
Absolutely.
That is-
Here's my thing is this is
What's your thing?
we once again I always go back to this is that we gave what was it $40 billion to Ukraine in their defense of Russia, which is fair. They need the money.
They need it.
Absolutely, I understand that, but you're telling me
we just had that much money just chilling in the back.
exactly, and we can't even just give free breakfast and lunch to these students just because like they have low income or middle income. Like I feel like the income shouldn't matter. I feel that
100%.
students, regardless, should just have the option to have a free lunch to them because that's so important. And there's so many people that have to deal with not being able to have 3 meals a day in this country. Like people might think, oh, that's just a thing going on in like Africa or in these random islands where things aren't developed. That's
Nah,
not true.
bro, it's
It
not, yo.
1000% happens
See
here.
this every.
Exactly.
I went to school with actually I was one of these kids, for example, and I went to school with a lot of kids that were in the same boat as me. But you know, you would think that okay, you go to school, you work wear different clothes every day, you should be fine. No,
Mm-mm.
you see things like this on the regular
On a
and
daily basis. And you know, it's the saddest part is that a lot of these kids, like, they're naturally embarrassed by that.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah,
you're like, I wish I could, but I can't. And then they hide it and they don't tell anybody and they just go starving. They're hungry and they just, I feel like this shouldn't be difficult at all.
yeah.
There should be absolutely be funding for this. Students deserve this. I feel like that is just a right that they deserve for trying to better themselves and educate themselves. I think it should be available from K to 12 at the minimum
Yeah,
because like it's not their fault if they are born into a low income family.
exactly.
Like that's not in their control. And they probably are just as hungry and they just want a meal. And if you can't provide that as a country, shame on you because you could have and you did during the pandemic. So why not continue that program? Because let's be honest, it's not like those school lunches or anything fancy. It's just it's enough to get by.
Like no, like the school lunches itself, they help.
They do.
Like
Even if it's like one of those mini boxes of cereal,
Oh,
that
it-
goes
it-
a long way.
Like you never know that could be a child's only meal of that day.
Absolutely.
Like that's a guaranteed meal for that child.
Mhm.
Who knows? Because you never you never know what someone's going through. So it's like to be able to have something like that could put a smile on someone's face. There was one time my junior year of high school. There was a kid who didn't have any lunch, so I got my lunch and then I just gave it to him because he was hungry and he was starving, and then he came up to me the next day saying thank you because my mom she didn't go home from work because she was late at work, so I didn't eat dinner, so that really helped me out a lot. So you never know what a lunch could do for somebody.
Absolutely.
And-
Like there's so many kids that their parents, whether it's their mom, their dad, or just one of them, they're working double jobs just to make sure they have a roof over their head. And sometimes they're not going to be home to make dinner, or sometimes the fridge is going to be empty. Like that's just how life is.
And these kids,
And-
they're growing, like especially the young ones.
Mhm.
They need food now
Yeah.
more than ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. This seems like a no-brainer. Just
It's one of those
find
things.
the money. Like once again, you found
You
$40
found
billion
40 billion in the cut. You can't be like, oh yeah,
for military weapons, and you can't provide food for students,
for your American children.
for your own
Mhm.
American. That's the biggest shame. Shame on you, United States government.
United States government L.
on
But
a
you know it's not.
consistent basis at this point.
But you know it's not an L.
What?
Kicking it back with Lana.
Yay!
So, Lana.
Wait, hold on. Cam,
What's
I
up?
think you actually just named the segment.
Kicking it back with Lana.
Kicking it back with Lana. Look at that. That's what it's changing on the script, somebody.
Bet.
Lana, take it away.
So for Friday, we have Lightyear coming out in theaters, which is rated PG. Lightyear is the definitive origin story of Buzz Lightyear, the hero who inspired the toy. This follows the legendary space ranger on an intergalactic adventure. And supposedly, how it starts is like it talks about how like Angie got the toy in like 1995. This is the movie that inspired that toy.
Yo, here's the thing. I knew about this movie. So, as you guys know, I'm a huge Marvel stan. No, as I mentioned, like every other week.
You are?
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm
god!
What?
Surprising, right? I know I got 2 Thor tickets, so yeah, vibes on the same day. Actually, back-to-back shows. Anyway, so I saw Chris Evans posted this. He just posted a picture of Buzz Lightyear's face, and I'm like, huh? So yes, Chris Evans is gonna be voicing Buzz Lightyear, which is first off, that's his boss. That's so boss. Secondly, I love Toy Story. Toy Story is probably my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Toy Story is amazing.
Toy Story is great.
It's my favorite Disney series of all time. Oh, Pixar. That's my favorite Pixar series of all time. No matter what, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I enjoyed them all.
I don't know if I saw the 4th one. I know I definitely saw 3.
The 4th one came out in 2019.
What happened in 4?
It was not needed, but it was
the spork.
Forky.
I think I might have seen parts of it.
So
But
basically,
yeah, I don't think that was a needed one.
it was not needed at all.
It should have just been like if anything, like a refresh, like with new.
Yeah, they had
I don't know.
Forky. They had look,
I don't know. I feel like 3 was kind of the perfect way to end it.
Yeah.
basically 4 is the epilogue.
Fourth,
Yeah,
Like,
it's the DLC content.
Yeah, basically. But yes, I love Toy Story. So this movie right here,
Yeah.
I need this.
This is cool.
I need this in my life.
I know a lot of people were against it when the official announcement came out for it.
Who was
but I
against
think,
this?
You know how people are.
That's very true. They can put about anything.
They were just like, "You're ruining my childhood. Don't call it Disney. It's Pixar." Like those kind of people.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Scram.
I do think it's gonna be an interesting movie. I'm glad that they're kind of going in a different route with like obviously a very familiar character. And it's not like a Toy Story 4 deal where it's just like continuing on the story. It's something completely different. So I'm excited to see where it goes. You know, I probably won't watch it in theaters. I'll wait for Disney Plus or whatever it ends up on.
Yeah, same.
But I'm definitely curious to see the audience's reaction to it.
I don't know why, but the CGI bothers me.
Yeah,
They
it's different than
Yeah.
the normal Toy Story, right?
It's well, I know they're not supposed to be toys
Yeah.
in this movie. They're supposed to be like people, but I don't know, just the way it was done just bothers me.
What do you think it's gonna be good or bad?
It would probably be pretty good.
Okay. Because I would agree. It's very kind of jarring to see Buzz Lightyear like realistically a cartoon
Yeah.
and not just a toy figure. It's very interesting to see where this one goes.
Lana, what's next?
So our next movie is Halftime, which comes out
Mhm.
today on Netflix and is not currently rated. Global superstar Jennifer Lopez reflects on her multi-faced career and the pressure of life in the spotlight in this documentary. This heavily focuses on the Big Game LIV halftime show. I don't know what that Roman numeral is.
The big game 54.
Thank you.
54.
Big Game 54.
The Live Golf Tour? Absolutely. Let's talk about Saudi Arabia, everyone.
That's hilarious.
So this one is actually interesting because I feel like I heard a clip about it that came out, and what's her name? Jennifer Lopez was getting flamed online for it, where pretty much she said, because you know how the internet is, like they'll hear a quote and take what they want to hear from it. So I only heard like the not good part. It's pretty much she was offended that she had to share the stage with Shakira on the
I heard
halftime
about that
performance.
too.
Yeah. Which first off, I mean,
What? It's Bay. You better stop.
exactly. How are you gonna hate on Shakira? Her hips still have not lied to me.
No, I had a crush on Shakira since I was.
I think
Yeah,
everybody did. Absolutely everyone did.
I was worth. Listen,
Even Lana did. No, I'm kidding. So I don't know. Jennifer Lopez is an interesting human being to me. This is not going to be something I watch because, but I'm curious to see what the rest of that quote is and whether or not the narrative on her statement kind of changes. But yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm not really a huge like Jennifer Lopez fan normally, so I probably won't watch it myself, but I think I would like read up on it and see like what other people have to say about it.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
And finally, in the movie category, we have Spiderhead, which is
I thought this was Spider-Man for a second.
yeah.
Cam almost lost it.
When
He's
I
like, how
first
did I not know?
When I first saw it, I thought it was Spider-Man. It has nothing to do with Spider-Man. It is rated R, comes out on Netflix on Friday. In a state-of-the-art penitentiary run by brilliant visionary Steve Absinetti, played by Chris Hemsworth,
So you got Thor, a Spider-Man. Got it.
inmates wear a surgically attached device that administers dosages of mind-altering drugs in exchange for commuted sentences. There are no bars, no cells, or orange jumpsuits. In Spiderhead, incarcerated volunteers are free to be themselves until they're not. At times, they're a better version. Need to lighten up? There's a drug for that. At a loss for words? There's a drug for that too. But when two subjects, Jeff, played by Miles Teller, and Lizzie, played by Journey Smollett, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, from a connection, their path to redemption takes a twistier turn as Abstinetti's experiments start to push the limits of free will altogether.
You know, people say there's an app for that. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
Hungry? This breakfast.
Yeah.
What?
You know what I was thinking though the whole time though is Juicy Smollett's sister is in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know she was an actress.
Yeah, word.
That's interesting. What an interesting story that was. Remember that?
Yeah, that was like what, 20, 20
Yeah, let's fake this whole thing and then still go on like it's real. Is this a movie y'all gonna watch, Spiderhead?
I mean, I don't really know. Like, I'm interested to see like what it would like really turn out with, especially like with Chris Hemsworth. Like,
Yo, if you see a giant
Yeah.
muscular man just administering drugs, you know how crazy that sounds?
Sounds
Like
a
what?
Friday night to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
there's something I want to talk about.
All right, show's over, everybody. Yeah, this is definitely it's an interesting concept. I will say there's actually a movie that came out pretty recently. I'm not sure if it's in theaters or something you watch online, but it's called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've heard of that.
I've heard that movie too.
Yeah, and I really want to see it because one, it sounds like a very original kind of movie where they're traveling through time. I don't know how to really describe it, but it's definitely something that I want to watch, and I'm hearing a lot of good things about it.
So you know how to describe it?
Hmm.
Like a referee seeing a field goal. It's good. One of these days I'll wear my red shirt because he vibes.
You say Russia?
My red shirt.
Oh,
One
your
of
red
these days. One of
I was
these
like,
days.
come on, man. Too soon. Video games, right?
Yeah, it's true. So the first one we have is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
What Shredder do? What
Comes
Shredder
out
Shredder?
Thursday on the PS5, PS4, Switch, PC, and Xbox One.
not the other Xbox. That's hilarious.
And we finally have Starship Troopers Terran Command comes out Thursday on PC.
I have a question for everyone.
What's up?
So I don't own like the new generation of consoles like PlayStation 5 or Xbox
Series
S or whatever.
Whatever it's called.
How long have those been out, and are they still making
They have
games
been
for,
out-
like Xbox One?
They've been out since 2020, and they're still making games for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. I think they're stopping.
Like, is this the final year that they're making games for that?
No, because it's not many people are able to afford the thing. Like it originally said, oh yeah, it's going to cost 500 and 400. Okay, cool. Nope, I've not seen anything under $6.
Well, that's like scalper prices.
That's
though.
also true,
It's
but
just
like
no one can get a hold of them.
even retailers have it for $7.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like,
curious.
I'm like, bro, what? Like, can y'all bless? Like,
That's very weird.
To get a PS5 console at Walmart is $829.
what?
No, I see where that price comes from though is that Walmart you can buy things from like third-party resellers, so that's what's making that price. I think if
Sony has not made a PlayStation 5. Anyway, that's the point.
yeah, but when does that stop though?
There's a game that's coming out. I forget what it's called, but it's gonna bug me. But the game it's completely just got rid of everything, and it's not gonna be made for PS4 and Xbox One because they're trying to maximize the full potential of.
Got it.
What's the game called? It's gonna make me mad.
Is it like the movie type thing
I don't know.
that we talked about last week?
I don't know. I gotta look it up.
Because my thing is like, I think when sports games stop making games for that console, I guess, is normally the sign that they're not making anything else for it. That's just my, I guess, skewed vision of that. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how much longer they really actually make games for that console, because that was my next gen thing, the Xbox One. And I don't know if I have a desire to get a PS5 or a new Xbox, because I just don't really play it as much as I used to. Sad.
I'm cool with my Switch Lite.
Yeah, I rock with the Switch, you know.
That's all I need.
See, that's my thing. It's like, even with the Switch, you know, sometimes I think games focus too much on, we have to have the best graphics or like the best, I don't know, motions or whatever. But sometimes if you have simple things and it's just fun to play, that's normally the best game.
That's gonna bug me. I don't care.
All right. Well, maybe we should listen to a song. Change up the mood. Cam, before you play the song though, you promised us bangers.
Oh yeah, I promise some heat. So.
Is it? It's gonna be the greatest song ever?
Yeah.
Sorry, Facebook. You will never be able to know.
Hold on, bro.
We loading.
Hold on, bro.
Hey, we'll stall for you. So guys, I'm drinking a delicious coffee today. Lana, what did you get from Starbucks?
There it is. All right.
Hold on. All right, bye guys.
Welcome back to 90.3
Hey, Balvin,
WMC
man.
Upper Montclair. That was that happened. So
Yeah.
This is the summer fish. If
What?
you know, last week the bee story.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, imagine having a goldfish memory.
Hey man, that was hurtful.
Sorry, I went up that. Imagine you know, having some trash in the back of your car.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, there's no junk in this trunk, respectfully. So we are traveling up to the great state of Michigan.
Go Wolverines.
Wolverines, Spartans, you got it all up there. My people's up there.
Spartans.
Yeah, Spartan jokes. I can't say that because I have friends that they'll
Whatever.
whatever, right? So, despite it being in Michigan, the story has a Florida feel to it, respectfully, right? Authorities in Michigan said an attempted traffic stop led to a brief pursuit and surprising discovery in the trunk. Now, I know what you're thinking. A surprise in the trunk can mean a few things: a live body, a dead body, a half-eaten body, an odd amount of Jordan retro shoes, mountains of adult white sands. Well, if you guess any of those things, you're wrong. But no, that's not.
No, I'm just saying.
You're wrong. Yeah, you want to say it?
Nah, it's cool, man.
Yeah. So
I'm keeping you on your toes to make sure you're
no,
reading things.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly cute, respectfully. Inside the trunk, however, was a Florida gator.
Oh,
It was just an alligator in the car. So yeah, it was a Wolverines versus Gators kind of thing in Michigan. I don't know how they got in that game. But the man driving the vehicle fled the scene, sparking a brief chase that ended up when the fleeing vehicle became stuck between two trees. The 40-year-old man driving with the alligator was arrested on multiple charges, and deputies deemed that he had several warrants for another jurisdiction. The police made a statement on Karen's behalf. Who was Karen? That's right. They named the wild animal Karen. Karen attempted to flee the scene, but was taken into custody after a short scuffle. Karen's not facing any charges at the time. We believe, however, she was an unwilling participant during the incident, nor do we believe she was ever in control of the vehicle, though. That's what the police said.
Why did they call her Karen, though?
I don't know. As I was reading this article, I was like, did I skip a paragraph? Why are they referring to something called Karen right now? Then I scrolled up and was like, oh, that's the alligator. Yep. They called it Karen.
Copy.
Yeah. That's wild, by the way.
That's
to just have an alligator in your trunk. Like how? Like, huh? How?
I hope that alligator was able to breathe.
Apparently it was.
Hey, she was able to breathe.
Oh, you're
She-
right. I did not mean to misgender the alligator.
I'm sorry, Karen.
Like, what?
Yeah. Cam, I feel like this could be a story that could happen to you. Considering your track record with wild animals.
With wild animals and me driving?
I would want a bear as a pet.
Yo,
I feel like
Cam,
alligator isn't as crazy.
Cam, I need you to promise me that you won't do this.
Yeah.
Please. Anyway,
Can't wait to hear the story like 10 years from now. Local gym teacher shows students alligator
gym teacher goes to school with bear.
with bear. Well-tamed bear for some reason. Does all the party tricks too. And it's like, how is that bear not gone crazy? Cam got a hold of him.
The bear drove me to school.
You've heard of service dog. Well, here's service bear.
Service bears.
I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's also cool though?
What
is I saw this video the other day on Twitter, and I thought this is absolutely insane on so many levels. And this is probably very common, but just the fact of seeing it was very shocking. So I'm gonna pull up this video here, and it is literally a battle between a regular house cat and a coyote.
You want to play the audio of it too?
There's no audio in it, so I'm not even gonna bother. So as you can see, sorry, radio listeners,
Big W face
is that is a big coyote and a very small cat, and they are outside on the patio of Tony Gray's home. Shout out to his security camera for picking up this footage. But this is absolutely insane, and the cat holds its own the entire time, and it's just I'm so shocked that because I don't know if you guys have cats, but my cat would not survive this fight.
My cat thinks.
Look at that, and look, Coyote almost gets it. Coyote had many opportunities and now just doesn't know what to do.
My cat would think she could survive this fight, but probably can't.
Yeah, I mean, my cat is scared of his own shadow. It's kind of, and look, the coyote runs away. Homie's just chilling. Oh, I gotta move us. But look at that. That is also a big cat too. Shout out to whatever they're feeding it. Probably blue buffalo.
Shout out Garfield.
But yeah, man, I saw that. So luckily, we do end up finding out that the cat is still alive and well, and it survived an attack from a coyote. How do we feel about that? Are house cats better than dogs now?
I'm a dog person, so.
Oh, you hate cats.
I'm not gonna say hate cats. I can't make that joke.
Oh man,
listen,
we're a PG show. Come on, man.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
No, I saw something on my phone. I was like, I can make that joke. But yes, house cats. They shout out my homie Garfield right there. That's not the cat's name.
Garfield.
So yeah, homie said, "What's good, gang?"
Yeah.
Started scrapping. So shout out Garfield. Garfield, he did the thing.
I respect it.
I
mean, he really put up a fight against that
coyote. Yo,
that coyote probably just walking. Man, that really blew that one.
Homeboy says some, man.
It's like, not today, dude. I also feel like he used up literally all 9 lives in that span of time.
What was that the video? Was that the video? Just no, it's not the video. Just showed me.
What do you mean?
I was looking on the scripts. I went ahead.
Oh wow,
I missed that one. Nice.
I think cats can actually be really good guard animals too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that was this one.
They got claws, they got teeth.
Yeah.
You know, you put them in a dangerous situation, back against the wall, fate of the universe on the line. I want Iguodala, and apparently a cat.
Kitty Dollar.
Iguodala. What do we got next, Cam?
All right, so boom, right? We got another video.
Another one.
Before we get to the story and watch this video, another thing. Sorry, radio listeners. Big dubs for Facebook Live though. No dogs were harmed in this crazy event, however. So W's. Security cameras inside a Missouri home recorded the moment a dog turned on the kitchen stove, starting a fire that severely damaged the house. Luckily, the Kansas State Fire Department and the Southern SPFPD, responded to the house fire and rescued the 2 dogs who were only the occupants of the structure at the time. Firefighters viewed the security camera and discovered that one of the dogs had still on his hind legs to investigate the pan and then turned on the heat. Investigators say the pan still had food on it from the previous meal, and the heat caused a grease fire for about 8 minutes after the dog turned on the stove. So yeah, how about we just roll the tape from here on?
Yeah. Very quickly though, let's analyze their house. First off, I like the
setup. The island right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful island. You have the nice kitchen setup, the nice living room set up right adjacent to it.
Yeah, you know what's curious to me though is how their living room is set up. I feel like the TV, I would have personally found a way to put it on top of the fireplace, but hey, that's just me. All right. I feel like there's a weird angle from couch to TV.
Maybe one of those L-shaped couches though, so everyone's able to sit down. But I see what you mean.
I mean, I don't know. And I feel like there's enough room to really just open it up a little bit. I feel like the dark coloring's not really for me either. Maybe they have kids, so maybe you don't want to mess up the couches with stains. Yeah. I respect it. I do like the island. I like that it's got a plug on the side. Stainless steel appliances, a big fan of.
And a dog that knows how to cook.
And yes, this is true. So let's roll the tape.
I can't get past the slides on the table though.
Oh, press spacebar, no worky. Look at the little dog. Aww. Looking at the pan. He was standing up top, and now you can clearly see that the stove is on. Then we fast forward a little bit, and boom, goes the dynamite. We got a fire going on.
The stove just
that's a pretty big fire. And I will say, I feel like once again, this is another life lesson, everyone. Don't leave food in pans when you leave the house.
No. Here's a life lesson. Make sure everything's clean before you leave the house.
Yeah. Also, secondly, hold on. Obviously, luckily, no one was hurt in this. Let me roll back to the beginning very quickly. They said no one is home, correct?
Yeah.
Why is the TV on?
Yes. Yeah. Electric bill. What is this? Electric bill. The electric bill's going up on a Tuesday, respectively.
Is something plugged into that outlet?
This is disgraceful.
Yeah. Don't do that when you leave.
Here's the thing. Sometimes we leave our phone chargers and outlets. Yeah. I understand that, man. I that happens.
But still,
why is the TV on?
Like, is the dog? You put the TV on for the dog,
right? Like, I don't.
Like, is the dog sitting there watching cartoons? That's not cartoons.
So
that's the news.
That's what my grandma does for my favorite dog.
Yeah.
For real?
Like, just leave the TV on. Not so much cartoons, but leave the TV on for you.
But
Well,
also-
I wonder, now that I think about it, maybe there's like a study where that helps the dogs or something. I don't know.
But
Regardless,
still.
yeah.
And it's not even a good channel. Like it's
I know. Put something good on for homie. The
Like-
news?
like, who-
They got News 4 on right now? Come on. Put on ridiculousness or something. I don't know.
let the dog sit there and start laughing. It's like,
Right? He's got the remote on. He's got the food in like the pan. He's eating out of it.
Yeah, like it looks like there's dog treats on the island.
Yeah, like let homie eat.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Be better. Be better. I
But-
can say this because no one died. But,
Exactly. But come on, dog.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Hey.
But this is the end of the show. You guys have been listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Morning Buzz. We'll be back next week, this crew at least. But we got some more Morning Buzz tomorrow.
More importantly, Thursday.
More important,
Very handsome host.
Spice. We got the Spice Boy over there as the host. For Lana and Isaiah, I'm Cam. Hope you guys have enjoyed the rest of your day. Make the rest of the day your best of your day. We are out of here. Peace.